Welcome everyone to another video from World's Best Adventures. I'm Alexander Popp. Hope that all of you have had a really great holiday season and that your new year is off to a good start. I don't know about you guys, but every holiday season I get gifted a ton of backpacking and camping gear, which is great because I love gear and I love getting outdoors to use it. But today I'm not going to be talking about my new gear. I'm going to be talking about another reason why I love the holiday season, and that is used gear. Specifically, used gear that I find in places like REI, online retailers, Facebook Marketplace, places like that. You may not know this, but every year around the holidays, those places get absolutely flooded with used gear as people weed out stuff that doesn't work in preparation for spring, and after the holidays when people return stuff that just didn't work out for them for whatever reason. That trend is really great because it allows people like me and other outdoors fans to get really high quality gear at sometimes rock bottom prices. So with that trend in mind, we are going to be talking in this video about where to find used gear, how to find used gear, and why you should use it. Stay tuned. So why buy used outdoors gear? Two reasons: the cost versus the quality, and the reuse of something that might otherwise go to waste. So the first thing I'm normally thinking about when I go out scouting for used gear is the cost versus the quality. Because buying used gear is a great way to get high quality brands for bargain prices. Buying just a few pieces of gear from places like Arc'teryx, Patagonia, Salomon, Jetboil can easily set you back thousands, which most backpackers like myself just aren't able to shell out on a regular basis when new pieces of gear are released. But unfortunately, a lot of those brands are at the cutting edge of design. They make their gear with the best materials, they have the best warranties. So buying those brands used is a really great way to reap all the rewards while just spending a fraction of what you would normally spend. The second thing I think about is reuse. Am I going to give this piece of gear a second life? Looking at most of the gear that we see in local stores and online, most items that are returned or sold really aren't in that bad of a condition. In just about an hour of looking through REI garage sale items recently, I picked out a sleeping pad, a Jetboil system, a pair of Salomon boots in my size, a grill water filter, a water bag. All of that just costed me about $200, a bit over $200. All of these items are in really great condition. Only noticeable damage is just a little bit of milting on the Jetboil and a little bit of cleaning that the Salomons needed. All of these items that I just talked about at full retail price would have probably gone for about double, if not more, what I paid for them, and just needed a little bit of love to get trail ready. So I've talked about why I buy used outdoors gear, but you might be asking, how do I pick this stuff out? How do I pick out quality used gear? So I have 4 main pointers that I always use anytime I go out scouting. So the first thing you want to keep in mind when you're out searching for used gear, or you're just shopping and you find a used gear section, is the brands of gear you like and the items that you might need. So the second thing you're going to want to think about, if you're like me and you like gear and you're always looking for gear, is diversifying where you're looking. I've had a lot of luck at my local REI retailer. They have a permanent garage sales section that I just hit anytime I'm there for fuel or food or something, new pair of socks. And almost always I come away with something that I've wanted or I need for an upcoming trip. But if you don't have an REI or other gear retailer in your area, you're going to want to look online. And even if you do have one in your area, you're going to want to look online because there are tons of different places where people are selling used gear to each other, buying used gear on Facebook, on online retailers, that you're going to be able to find really great stuff for really great prices. So the third thing that you're going to want to do is always compare costs. If you aren't getting a good deal, what's even the point? So always do your research and compare the price of the item that you're thinking about buying used with the price it would cost new. But don't forget to factor in costs like shipping if you're buying online, or anything that you'd need to, say, clean an item or repair an item, or a missing piece that you might have. A great example of that is the Grail UL water filter that I got recently. It's in great condition, no scratches or major damage. Bought it for $31, but it was missing a filter. I was able to find a replacement filter at the REI I bought it from for $19, bought both of them, and it still came out $18 cheaper than the Grail UL normally retails from. That's what you're gonna wanna do pretty much anytime that you buy a used piece of gear. Is the cost of shipping it or cleaning it or replacing parts gonna cost more than it would have new? If it is, just get it new. Otherwise, you just got a discount for taking something that somebody may have taken out of the box and used once or twice or 3 times. It doesn't matter. You gave it a second life and you got a good deal on it. So my last tip is using your senses and your common sense whenever you're out looking for gear. This really only works for stuff that you're buying in person at a store. So if you're buying online, you're really just gonna have to use your best judgment. But if you're in a store, you're really gonna want to, pay special attention to certain areas of items, pay attention to how they look, pay attention to how they smell. If something seems off or smells off, it probably is, and you probably shouldn't buy that item. I know a lot of people don't like buying used boots because they think it's unhygienic. I generally say it's fine, you can clean boots as long as they really don't smell that bad. Same thing goes with like sleeping bags. People don't like to buy used sleeping bags. I don't mind it because good sleeping bags cost a lot of money and cleaning them isn't really that expensive. But it boils down to just using your common sense, use your best judgment, and if something seems off, you probably shouldn't buy that item. Well, that about wraps it up for used gear. I hope some of these tips were helpful for you. I'd love to hear how other people buy used gear, maybe some of their better finds in the comment section. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and we'll see you again next week. Happy trails.